Hari Om. I hope I'm audible. धन्यवादः। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनि कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोऽधीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलम् गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमतास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमतास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मद्गुरुं सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् परं वरिष्ठं ब्रह्मिष्ठं परमानन्दरूपिणं परमार्थानन्दयतिं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् So we are in the last part of the 17th chapter. Hopefully we'll complete it today. So we actually had completed the tapas aspect of whatever Lord Krishna was discussing. And I was saying that we have 9 combinations which come from the combined effect of Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika tapas combined with Kaikam, which is physical, Vachikam, which is verbal, and then Manasam, which is mental, right? So 9 combinations, 3 into 3 will come. And after talking about the different types of ahara, different types of yajna, different types of tapas, now Lord Krishna is entering another very important spiritual value, which is not very easy to practice, and that is the value of charity or dhanam, sharing our wealth with other people. This charity is highlighted in all our scriptures, and it is highlighted as a very rare one. The rareness is also talked about. Shateshu jayate shura, sahasreshu cha panditaha, vakta shatasahasreshu, dhata bhavati va nava. Among 100 people, there is one courageous person. Courage is rare. Fear is normal, right? Sahasreshu cha panditaha. Pandityam, wisdom or learning is so rare that among 1,000 you may find one panditaha. Vakta shatasahasreshu. Still rare is a person who has the knowledge as well as good communication skills to transfer the knowledge. So Vakta is a good teacher or a seeker, which is still rare. 1 in 100,000. Okay, Shatasahasram, 1 lakh. What about Data? A person who can give. Shloka says, Data bhavati va nava. There may be a true giver or not. Giving is very difficult because there is a basic sense of insecurity. So a human being wants to grab more and more, and however much we grab, the sense of insecurity continues, because basically insecurity has nothing to do with what we possess. Okay, it is basically born out of spiritual ignorance, and because of that the sense of insecurity will continue. So what we think is by grabbing more and more and saving, hoarding more and more, it will go away the insecurity. But what happens is the more we grab, right, the more the insecurity only increases, right? So this is a very, very important spiritual sadhana. Therefore, Shastra encourages giving so that dhanam can purify the mind, right? And the purification, mental refinement will lead to knowledge, and knowledge will remove the sense of insecurity. Grabbing and holding cannot remove the sense of insecurity. So actually Pujya Swamiji and even other Swamijis, they say, who have gone through this experience with many people, that if you find it difficult, somehow hold on and give away in Dhanam, right? And you will feel much better after that, right? And also a very interesting and practical advice that our Swamiji gives is, whenever you have an occasion to give charity to somebody, right? And in your mind, it is completely mind, okay? You are not sharing with anybody. First you think, oh, I'll give 2 lakhs. Then you think you'll give 1 lakh. So Swamiji says, whatever number you thought first, you give it of the higher number. Because as you start waiting, you will keep on lowering the number in your mind, and you will also find innovative reasons to support that also, right? So Dhanam is very, very difficult, and scriptures highlight this in Taittiriya Upanishad. If you see, in Shikshavalli, basically there is a convocation address. It's the equivalent of a convocation address. When the children who come there after Upanayanam, they are in the Gurukulam, and finally they are going to leave the Gurukulam and they are going to go back, right? And they will get married, they'll settle in the Grihastha-ashrama, and he'll start earning and all, etc., right? So in Shikshavalli, if you actually say, if you see, it says, Vedam Anucharya Charyanta Vasina Manushasti. And then it says, more important aspect is Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara Swadhyayanma Pramada Acharyaya Priyam Dhanamarutya Mavat. So all this, it goes on, and then it says Shriya Deyam, right? It says Deyam, right? Shraddaya Deyam, right? Ashraddaya Deyam, Shriya Deyam, Kriya Deyam, Bhiya Deyam, Samvidha Deyam, right? So it says, share your wealth, share with Shraddha. Do not share without Shraddha. Don't give, right? Without Shraddha. Right? But there is another interpretation of this. Even without Shraddha, please share. At least that way, if you are sharing, it is fine, right? So as part of that last part, you have all of these as part of the, you can call it the convocation address. You're going out into the world. So these are my words of advice. The Guru is telling the students, Shraddaya Deyam, Ashraddaya Deyam, Shriya Deyam, Viya Deyam, Bhiya Deyam, Samvidha Deyam. Share your wealth, right? So giving up of this external wealth, right, in charity, actually increases the internal wealth within us. But we don't see that internal wealth increasing. It is not visible, right? Therefore, unless you have Shraddha in the Veda, you are not going to be parting with your external wealth, right? So ultimately, peace, security, and happiness don't depend on this external riches, right? I think most of us have lived a long enough life to realize this, right? The external riches do not definitely have any impact on your peace, security, and happiness, right? And so may you have Shraddha in this truth, right? Very important. So interestingly, here it is Shraddaya Deyam and Ashraddaya Deyam, meaning at least somehow give, right? And somehow get involved in charity, right? So, and Veda also says Dhanam is a compulsory duty. And when there is a compulsory duty for a Hindu and there is an omission of that duty, you will attract Pratyavaya Papam. Many times I have talked about Pratyavaya Papam. Pratyavaya Papam for not giving. You may not get it in this Janma. You will get it in the next Janma. And Swamiji says, I will be born a Daridraha. In fact, a shloka reminds the truth. Dwaram dwaram atan bhikshuhu bodayan eva yachate. When a beggar is going from door to door asking for alms, people think he is primarily coming for alms. This shloka says he is coming and knocking the door for teaching you, right? That he is teaching non-verbally a very important lesson. What is he teaching? Adatva madri shoma buhu. By not giving, may you not become like me in the next janma. Because in the last Janma, I did not give, and now I am a Bhikshukaha. So knocking the door, he's saying, Adatva, by not giving, may you not become like me in your next Janma. Unsaid, right? So never become a Yachakaha. This is the lesson, right? Therefore, Bhiyadeyam, right? There should be fear that if I don't give in the next Janma, I am likely to have such a Janma, right? So give with that understanding, right? So there are lots of scriptural references for this, and Krishna is now talking about the Danam. So the 20th shloka teaches Satvika Danam. Datavyamiti yaddanam, Datavyamiti yaddanam, Diyate nupakarine, Diyate nupakarine. Deshe kale cha patre cha, Deshe kale cha patre cha, Taddanam satvikam smritam, Taddanam satvikam smritam. Danam is considered very important from several angles. First angle is the natural balance, right, which Danam is required for that reason, right? Because we take a lot from the creation. The very principle of Panchamahayajna is only that. And we are surrounded by this fivefold infrastructure. First, as children, we benefit from the family. Parents take care of us. So the natural balance is to also, in return, do whatever is required for that, right? Otherwise, I die a rini on that count, right? And in every janma, that rinam will continue, right? So this has to be extended to everything, this rinam. I go on taking knowledge, right? And I don't offer Guru Dakshina. That is also a serious rinam, okay? So one thing is you have to give back in terms of Guru Dakshina. The other thing is you need to teach also Gita and Upanishad. That sharing can be in any form. You can share with your neighbor, you can share with a friend. Obviously, the other person has to be interested also, right? So that knowledge has to be extended. So those days they used to say Brahma Rakshasa will come just to scare, right? Most of Hinduism, if you say, they will always give you a plus and a minus along with it, right? So just to make sure that people follow, right? So the other thing is the proportion. Now, if I get 1 lakh per month and I only give 10 rupees in Danam, it is not proportional, right? So the natural balance also needs to be maintained. And the second principle is social harmony, right? Social harmony, otherwise what will happen? The poor will become poorer and poorer, and the rich will become richer and richer. When the gap becomes more, there will be burglary, right? Murder, right? All of those will start happening when the gap between the rich and the poor starts widening, right? So voluntary sharing of wealth is also very, very important, right? And the third spiritual reason is for sannyasa, the internal sannyasa itself, we need to share. Vedanta says no external object or possession can ultimately give security. Therefore, depending upon the external object for security is foolishness, right? So why do I need to keep excess of wealth with me without sharing, right? So we need to make an assessment of that and decide, when to give it away, right? So, and the other thing is security of wealth. And then I also have children, right, for my security. I start worrying about their security, right? Ultimately, it's not what I have that matters, but what I am alone matters. And therefore, drop the external dependencies. Na karmana na prajaya danena tyagena ike amrutatva manashuhu. The wise, right? The sannyasinaha who don't possess anything and who are under the tree, right? They feel maximum security. On the other hand, a person with all the wealth and possessions feels insecure. Therefore, insecurity is a sense born of ignorance. Therefore, our aim is not to acquire more and more, but to find security in ourselves. So, if sannyasa is the ultimate goal, right? That is according to our Shastra, it is the fourth ashrama, right? At least in Grihastha ashrama, as Swamiji jokingly says, let's start giving away the disposable bottles which we have. right? So basically he says, let's not keep things, hoard things that we don't want, etc. Right? So it's a terrible weakness of an ignorant mind, right? And we have to let it go, because anyway Yamadharma Raja is going to snatch away. Think about it, right? Yamadharma Raja never gives notice and comes, right? So you don't think half a second also you don't have notice, right? So people may be around, possession, everything has to be left, right, at that time. Yama just snatches away the minute the karma dollars are over, as Swamiji says, right? So ultimately, even my own body, mind, it's a gift from Bhagavan, right? So tan man sab kuch tera, right? So the loss which creates this worry, right? So it is better to gift away rather than lose wealth or lose things. So you yourself give away, that gives more joy, right? Bhatrahari declares this, right? So dhanam is extremely important, and the dhanam is also of three types actually. So 20th shloka is satvika dhanam, 21 is rajasa dhanam, and 22nd is tamasa dhanam. So datavyam idi yad diyate, right? Datavyam means it is one of the, right, beauties of being a human being, and remembering, right, that dhanam is not merely only money giving, right? Only the human being can give other things. He can do vidya dhanam, or it can be a simple smile dhanam, right, instead of being gloomy all the time, right? Or it can be an appreciation dhanam, right? Expression of gratitude, right? It's a duty, right? Dhanam is the greatest duty. So datavyam, I have to give. Iti diyate, right? Tangible or intangible, that is made anupakarine, without expecting, anupakarine, without expecting anything in reciprocation. For doing my duty, I should not ask the question, what will I get in return, right? Therefore, anupakarine. Whether the other person reciprocates or not is the other person's problem. That's not our problem, right? So my fulfillment is over. It is over after giving, not after reciprocation. With the sharing itself, I have got the phalam, right? Phalam in the form of inner growth. So spiritually, I am climbing the ladder very, very fast. Whether the other person reciprocates or not, right? Even parents have no right actually to expect reciprocation from children, right? So if they don't do something in return, right, it is not our problem actually. If you see, it is for them, and they have a life to lead, and if they don't do something, they don't even have good words for you, it is their problem. They will pay the price at the right time. We are nobody to even say that, right? So I do it, whatever I do because I have to do it. With that, it is over. So as far as the children are concerned, we bring them up, we take care of their education, right? We take care of providing them all the support until they become adults, etc. So there ends our duty, and no expectations beyond that. If we can cultivate that, right, with anything, any dana, then it becomes anupakarine, without expecting any reciprocation, and also at the appropriate time and place. The scriptures talk about dhanam in sacred places and sacred times. They say it is superior. Kshetra dhanam, like you go to Kashi, you go to say Mathura or any of those places, Vrindavan, you go and give in holy places to the beggars or to the destitute. It is supposed to give you more punyam, right? So Kshetra dhanam in a place, and similarly Kale dhanam, right? So Grahana Kale or Marana Kale, right? It is very, 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 it is said that it is very effective. And that is why before the person passes away, just before the person passes away, if you can give Godhanam, or I have actually seen people in the family are giving away coconut to the priest, etc., before the person dies, and you know that the person is dying, right? So deshe kale patrecha, to deserving people. So giving wonderful gifts to rich people in a wedding, right, doesn't make much sense. But if we are able to give at the same time, apparently some people keep two boxes. When they give to their, okay, the liked ones, their friends, etc., they also give equal number to an ashram or to other deserving people, right? So, patrena, to deserving people, yad danam diyate, that is called satvika danam, right? So, what will satvika danam do? It will, whether it makes an external difference or not, internally my mind becomes refined and I get jnana yogyata prapti. Continuing. यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलमुद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसंस्मृतम्. So I think it's very easy to understand with even a little bit of Sanskritam. So Rajasic Danam is of lesser spiritual value. Yat tu pratyupakarartham, a gift which is made with an expectation that if I help this person now, it is a form of investment so that later when I need, I can also ask. With that expectation of reward, phalam uddishya, right? When for the sake of material result or even material punyam, I am doing sakama dana so that I will get swarga, etc. That is also seeking a material benefit only. So phalam uddishya means seeking material benefit. Va punaha yad diyate. Even when it is given, it is not given wholeheartedly with joy, but it is done with heartburn. Because others are giving, I am also, for instance, in a reception, I'm standing in a queue and others are giving, I can't avoid it, so I give, right? Therefore, I give. It's not coming from my own heart, right? So, just an example. So, then pariklishtam means with pain. When it is given with pain, then it becomes a rajasa danam. But I actually should feel happy that I'm in a position to give. And with that joy, when it is shared, it becomes satvikam. When it is joyless or painful, that is rajasa smritam. So it is called rajasa danam, right? Then what is tamasika danam? Adesha kale yad danam. Adesha kale yad danam. अपात्रेभ्यश्च दीयते असत्कृतमवज्ञातं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम् असत्कृतम् avajnatam. So you can understand the opposite of the previous danams. Yad adesha kale appatrebhyascha. The gift is made in the wrong place and wrong time, right? In the wrong place and wrong time and to a wrong person when it is given. Not only that, asakrit kritam, when we want to give something to somebody because he needs according to our shastra, our attitude must be proper. In fact, whatever we do, it is to be done as Yadyat karma karomi tat tadakilam shambhodavaradhanam. In Shiva Manasa Puja, we chant regularly, right? We have to give it as we are giving it to the Lord. And in the 9th chapter, Lord Krishna also said, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yad juhoshi dadasi yat pasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Give everything unto me, right? So you treat it as giving to me. So whatever you are giving to anyone, you don't look at the person as a person. You see the Lord in him and therefore you should give it with respect. So therefore, in those days, before giving Danam, we used to do Pada Puja to the person. Even now, during Shraddham, we do that. We make the person sit and we wash the legs when we invite the Pitras. When we give Bhiksha to our Swamiji also, we do that. But this is when we are giving Danam, right? We have to actually do Pada Puja before we give Danam, right? Because he is accepting whatever we are giving, right? So, if we insult the person or we rudely say, come on another day, right? I can't give you, etc. and use impolite words, right? And act very haughty. that is tamasika dana, right? So asking itself, that person must be feeling very bad, right? So therefore this giving also has to be given carefully. So if you don't do that, it is tamasika dana, right? So if you see Bhagavan, this example is given, Vamana avataram, Bhagavan had to become small to actually ask for the danam. It's the indication that the person who is asking is actually becoming small while asking, right? So very, very important aspect here. And the person also feels bitter, and Krishna says asat kritam, without honoring, respecting the receiver, and avagnatam, insulting that receiver. When the danam is done, it becomes tamasa danam, and therefore our aim must be what? Satvika danam must be our primary aim. Satvika danam is better than rajasika danam. Rajasika danam is better than tamasika danam. Tamasika danam is better than no danam, right? Something at least that person gives, right? So ideally for spiritual seekers, we should be giving satvika danam, right? Without expecting anything in return, right? So the choice is ours with regard to the recipient. The choice is not whether to give or not. The choice is with regard to whom to give, how much to give according to our resources. Giving is important, right? And tyagi is a very important word in Gita. We are going to see more about it in the 18th chapter, right? Ultimately, you do finally, after giving away all of this danam, you do the tyagam of atma ajnanam also. That is the last danam, right? Okay. So tat tamasam udahatam. So with this, Lord Krishna had taught all the things he promised. Arjuna asked for Shraddha only. Krishna promised what? He said he'll talk about ahara, yajna, tapaha, danam, right? And all these 4 topics Krishna has taught, and Krishna has done vidya danam to all of us, which is the greatest danam. So now comes the concluding portion of this chapter. So here in a tabular format, we have these 4 different the 4 different aspects which you can see: Shraddha, Ahara, Yajna and Danam. So in fact, Krishna has answered Arjuna's question with this portion completely. Okay. So continuing. Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha. Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha. Brahmanastrividasmritaha. Brahmanastrividasmritaha. Brahmanastena vedascha. Brahmanastena vedascha. Yajnascha vihita pura. Yajnascha vihita pura. So Krishna has taught the 3 types in all the disciplines: Ahara, Yajna, Tapa and Danam. So the aim of the spiritual seeker is to increase the Sattvika variety, reduce the Rajasika variety, and try to avoid the Tamasika variety. This is the aim of the seeker, right? So when it comes to puja, japa, etc., doing properly is very, very important. But inadvertently, we may commit certain mistakes with regard to the implementation of these instructions. For example, we do a puja. A Sattvika puja is done properly according to Vidhi, right? So Krishna said, Yajna, Sattvika variety of Yajna, according to Vidhi Drishtoya Yujyate. Vidhi Drishtaha means according to the rules and regulations, Niyama. Whatever is proper, we have to do. If I don't know the rules and regulations, I can ask somebody, right? Therefore, try to follow it properly. But even if I learn from others and I try to do it, because of my ignorance, because of my being inadvertent mistakes coming in, because of the ignorance of my language, Sanskritam, I may inadvertently commit mistakes, and once the mistake is committed, the Sattvika one will get into Rajasa, will get converted to Rajasika or Tamasa. Vidhihinam adhishtanam. Vidhi uktam is satvika, vidhihinam is tamasika, right? So it may become, and how to handle that problem. Never commit a mistake deliberately, right? That alone we should not do. This is inadvertent mistake. So it happens, right? Sometimes. Then the parihara can be done to convert the inadvertent tamasic variety immediately to sattvic variety. Are you able to get this point? So it is only inadvertent. Deliberately, if the shraddha has to be done in a particular way, we are not doing it, then that is a not doing the karma properly, right? But if it happens inadvertently, you are making some mistakes in the ritual itself, etc., right? Or you are not able to pronounce properly. Then we can rectify it at the end of, the ritual. You will see this in the end of the puja, parayana, etc. We have got a set of shlokas. Mantrahinam, kriyahinam, bhaktihinam, janardana, yat pujitam maya deva paripurnam tadastu me. Avahanam na janami visarjanam, puja vidim na janami, shamasva purushottama. So many such shlokas are there. Visarga bindu matrani, pada padaksharani va. So all of them related to either grammatical errors or mistakes in the rituals, right? So these shlokas are meant for converting the inadvertent tamasic variety to sattvika variety, right? Like it's like walking. I just step over someone, right? Somebody's feet, right? And then I say inadvertently I committed that mistake. Say sorry, right? That is prayachita mantra. But they also tell a joke, and Swamiji tells this very nicely. Now, there is a person who during the interval of the movie, right, he is going out to get a popcorn, okay, because without popcorn, the movie is incomplete. And when he went, he stepped over somebody's foot and he went. He did whatever he wanted. He purchased the popcorn, right, and he was coming and he saw the person. And he asked the person, did I step over your foot? Then that person says yes. He must be thinking, okay, this man is going to say sorry. Then the man who stepped over his foot earlier, he calls to his wife standing at the end of the row. This is our row, please come. He has asked the question to identify the row, not to even say sorry, right? So just as sorry is a prayachita mantra, right? Here also our scriptures, we have prayachita mantra, and Krishna wants to provide one which is very, very popular in our tradition. Om Tat Sat Krishnarpanam Astu. You would have seen many of us say this. We keep repeating this. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanam Astu, Ramarpanam Astu, Krishnarpanam Astu, right? So the glory of these three words, Om Tat Sat, as a prayachita mantra is talked about here. And Lord Krishna says these are very, very great and powerful mantras which can be used at the beginning of a puja, parayanam, etc., or at the end. So he gives the meaning, right, of them also, some of them that is introduced here, right? So the conversion of tamasika or rajasika into sattvika variety, that is what is talked about. And he says this mantra is Om Tat Sat. These three mantras or nama are Brahmanaha Nirdeshaha. The word Nirdeshaha means names, Namadheyam or Nama. Brahmanaha, here Brahman means Ishvara in this context. So Ishvara has got thousands of names, namas, right? So they are so great, and therefore these three namas have been used, these three, right? Om Tat Sat have been used by everyone in our tradition, and we have used these three namas. So Brahmanaha Vedascha Yajnascha Vihitaha Puraha. So when Lord Brahmaji created the following ones, because Brahmaji is the creator and he wanted to create so many things, right? So he created basically certain important factors, right? So those people, Brahmanaha, means those people who study the scriptures and follow the scriptures, disciplines, and give the knowledge to others. They are called Brahmanaha. So Brahma here means the Veda Brahmana, means Veda Vid. They are called Brahmanas, not the Brahmanas by caste who don't know the Vedas at all, right? Or by birth. We are talking about those noble people who lead their life not according to the Raga Dvesha, but according to the Dharma Adharma learned from the scriptures. Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, right? So they are called Brahmana. And when Bhagavan wants to create Brahmana, he wants that to be successful because they are the very basis of the earth or Bhuloka, because they know the dharmic way of life and they teach the dharmic way of life to others. And therefore, before creating such noble, cultured, mature people, Bhagavan remembered, Brahmaji remembered these three words. What are they? Om Tat Sat Iti. Right? Therefore, Brahmanaha, then Vedas. Vedas means the scriptures, right? And Brahmanas are the scriptural followers, right? So therefore, both are complementary, right? So the Vedas, the Vedic followers, and Yajñascha. So many yajnas are there, and how it should be done, etc. This is all created pura in ancient times, right? So that we can all become, we can follow what the Brahmanas teach, and then we can, indulge in Pancha Maha Yajna and be a contributor rather than a consumer, right? So every day a person should ask a question to himself. Did I lead an animalistic life fulfilling only my personal desires, or did I contribute something to someone like a Mahatma? Kinnu Satpurushairiti. Every day I should be able to ask, right? That is Yajna, right? And Bhagavan created, right? Vedas, Yajna, Brahmana, right? All of this only for this reason, right? And because they were such important things, Brahmaji uttered the word Om Tat Sat before that, right? Vihitaha means created, and Puraha long ago he created, right? Sankalpa Matrena, with his Sankalpa Shakti, right? So, continuing. Tasmadomityudahritya Yajnadana Tapakriya Pravartante Vidhanoktaha Sadatam Brahmavadinam Satatam Brahmavadinam. Therefore, since the Creator himself, right, has uttered these three words, Om Tat Sat, the Vedic followers, the Vaidika, right, otherwise called Brahmavadinaha. In the second line, Brahma means Veda, Vadi means those who talk about and who lead the Vedic way of life. So Hindus are called Vaidikaha. Yajnadana Tapah Kriyaha Pravartante. All their activities, whether they are Yajna, whether they are Danam or Tapaha, Upavasam, etc. Right? So choosing Ekadashi and fasting, right? All of them. Upavasa. All these come under Yajna, one or more of the Yajnas only, right? And so whether it is Upavasa or whether it is Yajna or whether it is Dana, any of these Kriya, right? So Brahmavadina Vidhanoktaha. The exercises have been prescribed in the Veda, right? Vidhanoktaha, right? Yajnadana Tapa Kriya. So various disciplines prescribed in the Veda, the Hindus follow. How? Om iti udahritya. After uttering Ishvara's name only, and all the three words are Ishvara's name. Om Tat Sat. So Krishna will give the meaning of these words and he'll give the meaning of Sat later actually. Okay? But the meaning of Om and Tat he doesn't explain. So we can note this. The word Om has got several meanings. It is also having a very profound philosophical meaning as given in the Upanishad, right? Which we will see when, if at all, we come to Mandukya Karika, Mandukya Upanishad, right? So, simple meaning is Om is derived from the root Av. Av means Rakshane, that means protect, right? That is why there are these kritis, Mamavatu Shri Saraswati, Mamava Meenakshi, Mamava Pattabhirama, Ma Ava, O Lord, protect me, right? So, In fact, Panini writes a few sutras for deriving the word Om from the root of the etymology. Avati iti Om, the one who protects the devotees, who worships him. So Om means the protector of the worshippers, right? That is the meaning, right? So he said the word Tat. So Tat in Sanskrit is used for remote, okay? So Parokshe, that means is remote, is called Tat, right? So here Bhagavan, again in Sahana Vavatu, you see Saha. Saha means Bhagavan, means Tat, Saha and all distance, right? Beyond sensory perception. Indriya Aditaha, Indriya Agocharam, right? So the meaning of the word Sat, Krishna himself will give later, but the simple meaning. So Om we saw, Tat we saw, right? Tat is Indriya Agocharaha, far away, Parokshe, and then Sat means existence principle, which we have seen even earlier, which is eternal. The eternal existence principle. Sadeva Soumya Idamagra Asir Ekameva Dvitiyam. Chandogya Upanishad says. Therefore, the meaning of the word Sat is eternal one, right? So Om is protecting Lord. Tat means the supra-sensuous Lord beyond the sensory organs. Sat means the eternal God. So this is the meaning of the three words. Continuing. Tadityanabhisandhaya phalam yajñatapakriyaha danakriyascha vividaha क्रियन्ते मोक्षकांक्षिभिः So this method is employed not only for Kamya Karmani, right? But this is the worldly people, not only they employ, but we use the same method for Nishkama Karmani by spiritual seekers also. So the spiritual seekers do the same Yajna Dana Tapakriya, but when they do Namaskara at the end, they don't think of world or family, but they think of Moksha Purushartha, Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham. Therefore, these spiritual people also employ the same method of conversion. So that is Om Tat Sat. So Tat we saw the another name of Brahman, right? After uttering Tat, Anabhisandaya, without expecting material result, right? They expect only what? Chitta Shuddhi. They don't employ their puja for any other worldly purpose, right? Because if you have to employ for worldly purpose, you have to invoke your ahankara and mamakara. If you do that, you are not progressing spiritually. Spiritual progress refers to nirmamam and nirahankara. We have seen this. So I do namaskaram and I say jnana vairagya siddhyartham. That is the phalam that I expect. Yajna tapodanam kriyaha ityarthaha. Right? So the phalam is as a result of these kriyas. So all the pujas, all the austerities, vividaha, all types of charitable activities, right? So I do for this, and Shankaracharya adds, he says Kshetra, Hiranya, Pradhanadi, charity, gifting away of land, gold, etc. Right? So donating all of these, perform in a Nishkama way, then you will be able to progress spiritually, right? So just as Omkara can be employed for conversion, the word Tat also can be used, and the word Sat also can be used. So they are three namas. So you can use Om also, Tat also, and Sat. So these days normally people chant all three together. Om Tat Sate iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So right, we chant. Right? So now Lord Krishna wants to give the meaning of the word Sat. He gives 5 meanings for the word Sat. So meaning of the word Om is protector, right? God. Tat is Indriya Agochara, God, that is Tat. Now Lord Krishna comes to the meaning of the word Sat. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha, sadbhave sadhubhave cha, saditti tat prayujyate sadityetat prayujyate prashaste karmani tata prashaste karmani tata sachabda partha yujyate sachabda partha yujyate. So Lord Krishna gives three meanings for the word sat in this verse. Sadbhave is translated by Acharya, Shankaracharya, as becoming existent. The meaning of sat, exactly like a unborn child, right? Becoming existent. Before the child manifested as unborn was not existent, right, in the stomach. So after the birth of the child, it becomes existent. Therefore, becoming existent or origination is one meaning for sadbhave, right? And second meaning, tata sadhu bhave, sadhu bhavaha. Shankaracharya takes the meaning of a person becoming a noble person, conversion of a not noble person into a noble person. So character transformation is sadhu bhava. So renunciation of bad habits, that is called sadityitaha. So this is the name of Brahman. The name of Brahman, right? Sat means etat sati iti abhidanam prayujyate. In such a context, the word sat is employed when somebody is getting transformed, right? Then comes the third meaning of the word sat, prashaste karmani. In all noble karmas, sacred karmas, right? What is the example? Shankaracharya in his Bhashyam says, Vivaha Adi, right? So, this is a very, very important aspect. Shankaracharya generally glorifies sannyasa right through, right? So, we may get an impression that Shankaracharya is anti-grihastha-ashrama, right? Because everywhere he glorifies sannyasa. Every pronoun he will say sannyasi only for him, right? So we may get that impression that he does not hold grihastha-ashrama in high respect. Here in his Bhashyam, he writes Vivaha Adi. So Vivaha is the first sacred karma he writes, right? So grihastha-ashrama is also as sacred and great and relevant for a spiritual seeker as sannyasa-ashrama is, right? So all the four ashramas are equally glorious, and entering into any one of this ashrama is prashasta karma, very important. So vivaha adau, he uses upanayana karma, etc. Right? So tata sat shabda, that's the next one. Sat shabda. So hey Arjuna, sat shabda partha yujyate. So the word sat is told this way. The three meanings in verse 26, sadbhave, that is existence, sadhubhave, conversion to a noble behavior, prashaste karmani, any noble action, any noble karma. Continuing, yagne tapasi dane cha, yagne tapasi dane cha, sthiti saditi chochyate, sthiti saditi chochyate, karma chaiva tadarthiyam, karma chaiva tadarthiyam, sadityevabhidiyate, sadityevabhidiyate. So in this verse, Lord Krishna gives two more meanings, right? So the fourth meaning is commitment or steadfastness in yajna, dana and tapaha, right? So in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we have tametam vedanu vachanena brahmana vividishanti yajnena danena tapasa nashakenai tameva viditva munir bhavati, right? Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4:422. Very, very important mantra. Lord Krishna borrows these three, right? Both in his 17th chapter as well as this particular verse. He borrows in 17th chapter as well as in the 18th chapter. These three basically yajna, dana, tapansi, primary spiritual activities to nourish the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Does it ring a bell? Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. We studied in Tattva Bodha. Okay. So how to get spiritual qualification? Our answer is yajna, dana, tapaha. Right? To purify the mind, yajna, dana, tapaha. So this commitment, the consistent, systematic, right, regular adherence to this, that commitment is Nishtha, right? So just like Jnana Nishtha, here Karma Nishtha is also talked about, and that is referred to as Sat, steadfastness, commitment, perseverance, etc. So this is the fourth meaning of the word Sat. Then the fifth meaning he gives is in any ordinary karma also, which is part of Yajna, Dana, Tapaha, right? There may be some associated karmas with it. For instance, somebody is doing a yaga. So you buy flowers, fruits, ghee, etc. That is secondary karma. The Swamiji is conducting a class, assume. So we go there, we put the chairs, we set up the mics, we clean the place, we coordinate everything. That is secondary karma. That is also a form of yajna, dana, tapaha only, which is auxiliary karma. Right? They are also called sat. So the fourth meaning is commitment or perseverance or willpower with respect to the practice of these three spiritual disciplines. And the fifth one is karma chaiva tadartiyam, any other satellite activity that will promote yajna, dana or tapas, right? So, and very important to note that charity need not be given only by rich people. If you do not have the money, then accordingly we can even share time, right? We can do whatever we can, right, within our limits, right? That is most important, right? So all of them are sat. So we've now covered Om Tat Sat are the three main topics that were covered here, right? So here actually Shankaracharya gets into a lot of details on what is being covered. Is it Ishvara or is it the karma, etc. We'll not get into that now. So we'll continue with the next verse. Ashraddaya hutam dattam, Ashraddaya hutam dattam, tapastaptam kritam chayat, tapastaptam kritam chayat, asadityuchyate partha, asadityuchyate partha, nacha tat pretya no iha, nacha tat pretya no iha. Lord Krishna has concluded the topic of the significance of Om Tat Sat mantra. So while performing a karma, if I have not chanted correctly, by uttering Om Tat Sat, the errors get rectified. Right? Now, if you see in the beginning of the 17th chapter, Shraddha was highlighted. Right? Here it is being reminded. Right? Puja done without Shraddha, any charity made without Shraddha, any other worldly activity done without sincerity. For instance, a job that I don't like, if there is no sincerity, it will impact my physical and mental health. Right? So all such karmas, right, are called asat karma, without sincerity. So by practicing such asat karma, you won't get material benefit or spiritual benefit. You won't get benefit in this janma or in next janma. So if you don't like the job, train to like the job, right? So this is the significance of Shraddha, which he is highlighting. If you remember right, right at the beginning, he started with the importance of Shraddha in this chapter, right? And the chapter itself is called Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, right? So Lord Krishna wants to emphasize Shraddha, and therefore he ends the chapter also with an important message on Ashraddha, which is insincerity. May you never do any karma without Shraddha, right? That is the important message that is being given here. It is like exactly Acharya Shankaracharya talks about Basmani eva juhotiyaha. It's like offering oblation into the ashes instead of fire if you do something with insincerity. So basically, don't do anything with insincerity. Right? Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. Iti Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu. Iti Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu. Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे श्रद्धात्रयविभागयोगो नाम सप्तदशोऽध्यायः। श्रद्धात्रयविभागयोगो नाम सप्तदशोऽध्यायः. So thus is concluded the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, right, which is titled Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, right? Although the other topics that were covered were Aharatraya, Yajnatraya, Tapatraya, but the title given is Shraddhatraya because Arjuna asked for it at the beginning and that is at the end also, right? And very important, and it validates the other Yajna, Tapa, right, Danam, etc. also. So Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sorry, I should have removed 21st. So next week on 28th March, I will give you a summary of the 17th chapter, and I will also see if I can introduce the 18th chapter. In case you want to let others know who have been attending or who would have liked to attend the Gita class, you can tell them that the 18th chapter is also a summary of the complete Gita. So they can join in from next week at least to get this benefit. And I think over the next 12 to 13 weeks, or I should say 12 to 13 sessions, classes, we should be able to complete the 18th chapter also with Ishwara's grace. So you can tell your friends in case they are interested, anybody, because 18th chapter will be again a summary very similar to 2nd chapter, very, very comprehensive chapter. Oh, somebody writes here, Sat Sri Akal of 6. Is this the same as Om Tat Sat? I'm not, I don't know that religion, so I'm not able to comment about it. If it is also achieving the same purpose, then it must be the same. Anybody else has any questions? I don't see anybody's hands raised. Okay. So next week we will meet same time.